the Real Estate Training Podcast with Kiki Salcido, turning decades into days. Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Real Estate Training Podcast. I'm your host, Kiki Salcido. Today I'm joined with Rob Collins.
That's me.
And today we are going to talk about 6 lessons that I learned in the last 6 years. So just a little precursor, this whole podcast is to turn decades into days. We want you to be empowered as a real estate broker. So you take out all the guesswork out of doing your business and you just go out and do the business. So 6 lessons I've learned in the last 6 years of doing our business. First and foremost, this whole thing is brought to you by this fantastic quote. You cannot change the wind, but you can adjust your sails. You like that one?
I love it.
It's a good one.
No, it's a very good one. Yeah.
All right. So first and foremost, growth mindset versus fixed mindset. And this was the first thing that I learned whenever I got into real estate. And a lot of that goes with my goals and aspirations. Getting into this was so excited about the possibilities of real estate. And, you know, everybody talks about the ease of real estate, the flexibility of time, all this type of stuff. But I was really, really attracted to the possibilities of becoming a developer, owning a construction company, doing all these things. And
you're here.
Whenever I first got started, the hardest thing was I couldn't even get a client to call me back, right? I didn't even know where to find a client. Right. Anybody that I got their information at an open house, I would call them. And then after the 4th call, I just found out that I was getting blocked. And so that for me caused so much depression. I was sad. I almost just wanted to give up because I was like, man, maybe this isn't me. Right. Maybe this isn't what I'm good at. I'm not smart enough. I don't know enough about real estate, all this crap. Right. And what that crap is those are the maladaptions that you're kind of formed into, right? Since your childhood. Mm-hmm. These are negative thoughts that turn into negative beliefs. And that is where I was. I would come home from my phone not ringing all day, and I would just be sad and want to cry and give up. And my wife, on the other hand, totally different experience. And we're partners. So she was doing well and I wasn't doing well. And that I feel like amplified what I was going through. And then on top of that, other people in the office were doing the same thing. And then I started noticing something is the people that said, market's great, I'm getting buyers closing left and right. Those were the people that were doing it. But anybody that said the market sucked, I don't have any buyers aren't buying, everyone's just kicking tires, all that stuff. They weren't ever closing deals. And then I picked up this great book called Mindset by Carol Dweck, and it really just unfolded right in front of my eyes right there. It is a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. And the people that have the growth mindset, the people that say good things, have positive energy, they end up doing a lot more with their lives, a lot more with their career. So that is the first lesson that I learned.
Can you give us an example of a time you chose to have a growth mindset instead of a fixed one? Like, what does that look like?
From the first client, I remember she was like, all right, let's write up this offer. And I wrote up an offer and I missed a checkbox or something. And Christina saw it, corrected it, and sent it back to the client. And from that moment on, that client never trusted me with paperwork. And for the longest time, I was like, fuck it, I'm not good at paperwork. I'm not going to do paperwork. Well, there comes a day where you're going to have to do paperwork. And it came a day where I had to bite my teeth. Is that the saying? Grit my teeth? I wasn't happy with doing it.
Bite my tongue?
But yeah, maybe. Right? But I learned paperwork. And now I understand paperwork because whenever I moved into the commercial realm, she didn't. So there was paperwork that she didn't understand that I couldn't lean on her, right? So whenever that support, that crutch got taken away, I had to grow. And then that's where it really clicked that like, oh, goddamn, I can grow.
Okay.
I could learn. It was something that I wasn't too stupid.
And then after that point, did you start seeing your business take off a little bit more?
Yeah, no, 100%. Because I remember my phone's not ringing. Someone called my phone. My phone's not ringing. Is it broken? And now my phone
Is it broken?
rings all the time.
Your phone doesn't stop ringing.
Yeah. And so it's 100% that mindset shift changed my entire business altogether. So
Okay.
that is number one. Number two is to have an open mind. Kind of falls in line with number one. But here's a good example of the open mind is whenever I first got started, I remember saying or hearing from other brokers that were doing a lot of business that open houses were a waste of time. You're not going to get any business. Everybody in this price point already has a broker. There's X amount of brokers in the marketplace, so it's going to be real hard to get your first deal. Or that broker owns that area, so he does all the real estate in that area. And so I would hear all these things, and I'd be like, "That's insane. Why did so many people become realtors if that's the landscape?" And then I realized these were all just closed. These were the people that were saying that the market's not doing well. So they just had a very closed mindset, and so then I started to open my mindset, and so the measure. This is what Albert Einstein says, right? So the measure of someone's intelligence is one's ability to change. So I use that. So the moment I started thinking negative things, I tried to keep an open mindset to it. So if someone, try an open house on a Wednesday night in front of a school. And I thought, man, I'm cutting in my Wednesday nights. That doesn't sound like a good idea. I kept an open mindset, got a great lead from it. So it's those types of things.
You always say that 20% of the people
do 80-20 rule?
Yeah.
Yeah. 80% or no, 20% of the industry is doing about 80% of the business.
Do you think that it's those people who have the right mindset and everybody else is kind of just slacking when it comes to
100%.
Okay.
100%.
I could agree with that. Just based on how many people answer their phone.
Even the phone, man.
It's annoying. I think I'm just so fixed on it because I'm trying to contact an agent today and I'm not hearing back from him. So sorry.
Well, keep an open mind because he might call you back. He might surprise you.
You're right.
But this falls in line with that voice that you hear all the time. I remember somebody was telling me how to market, and I went to school for marketing, and so they were telling me this little gimmicky thing on how to market, and it was a specific property, and I was having a hard time with it. And I remember him telling me what to do, and I was like, "That is stupid. There's no way I'm going to do that." And after about a week of it still sitting, I tried it and got an offer like the next day. And so at some point, you're going to have to understand you don't know everything. And you don't know what's going to work because you don't know everything. So keeping an open mindset. And if you try it and it doesn't work, well, at least like now you have some more research as to why it wouldn't work.
Right. And I'm a big believer, if you've ever looked into a concept called Shoshin, it's just always having an open mind, because even if you feel like you're the best, there's always going to be somebody that you can learn from. You're never really truly the best, until you are. But
well, but like even when you're the best,
you can learn.
There's still somebody coming up, nipping at your heels. So you can never like be comfortable, and that's why like a lot of people think like I hit that cusp of success and now I can relax, and that's never the case, right? So you always have to be learning and growing. So with that open mindset or keeping an open mind, a lot of people have just negative in their life. I heard this great expression that if your group doesn't inspire you, if your circle doesn't inspire you, it's not a circle, it's a cage. So kind of use that, right? The people you're getting advice from, if it doesn't inspire you,
Yeah, it's like the 5 people you hang around most are the 5 people who you are.
Yeah,
Make up your personality.
If you average their net worth, it'll be yours type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I meant just personality-wise.
Sure. Oh yeah, well I mean yeah, but like their personality, like all that stuff builds, right?
True.
I mean, if I'm hanging around billionaires, hopefully one day I'll be pretty close. Right? But so a lot of negativity. We want to talk about how, for me at least, how I've been able to overcome a lot of my negativity, and I do my affirmations, right? Okay. But I also have mantras, and here's four good mantras to reset your mindset.
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I don't know. Are you about to drop some knowledge?
I'm an observer of my thoughts, not my thoughts.
I wrote that down the other day. How interesting.
Isn't it? Mm-hmm. But isn't that a good one, right?
Very good one.
Because we have such negative thoughts. You're not that.
Mm-hmm. And you can choose how you react to your thought. Yeah.
All that I perceive to need is already within me. Ooh, you knew that one.
Mm-hmm. Did we just write down the same quotes?
What about this one? I feel the fear. I'll do it anyway.
Did we literally just write down the same quotes? What is going on? That's funny.
I am deserving of all that I desire. That one I don't really feel. It's the I feel the fear. I'll do it anyways. That one I vibe on with, like crazy.
I vibe
because I do feel the fear, and I think anybody. I love this. People talk about people that are courageous and that they don't have fear. Right? He's fearless. Anybody that's fearless is just a fucking moron. Right?
I mean, yeah.
No, you're courageous is I'm overcoming that. So that's the key right there. Yeah.
Burn your fucking boats.
Fearless. Anyways, so we're going back. Third rule, or third lesson that I learned is the law of reciprocity. And if you guys have, Brian, how would you describe law of reciprocity?
Do to others what you would have done to you, kind of thing?
Yeah. I say like pay it forward.
Pay it forward.
Right.
Definitely.
I have a good story that kind of goes along with this. I've growing up, there was some challenges that I've had in my life. And everybody that helped me out throughout my entire life, I'd write down in this book. There's one lady that helped me out significantly. Her name was Siggy. And she literally broke some bread with me, right? I just moved to Los Angeles. I was broke, had no money. And Siggy kind of sat down, gave me a job, literally split her sandwich with me, broke bread, right? And we talked about it, and she helped me kind of get set up. And to me, that was the most impactful thing. For her, she filled a job and gave somebody half of a sandwich, right? So like it was something that she was going to do regardless, and she probably wasn't going to give the other piece of her sandwich. So she's probably not happy about that, right? But still, that little thing that she did changed my entire life. And so I also think about that whenever I got into, started to get more into bigger deals. There's a gentleman by the name of Andrew. He helped me out, literally randomly connected with this guy, stayed up all night helping me do a performa for an apartment complex, and never asked for anything in return, nothing, right? And it's just that, and that's what he
still helps you out to this day, right?
Huh?
He still helps you out to this day.
Yeah, no, he ended up becoming a great friend and a mentor of mine in a lot of ways, just because like it's that he left me with, pay it forward, Kiki. You don't have to pay me back, just give it to the next guy. And that was huge for me because you don't see that a lot. And so that's what give to receive, law of reciprocity. Last one. Or not last one, second to last, law of attraction. You're going to attract
whatever you're thinking of.
Whatever you wish for, right? What you're thinking of.
Not even
those types of things.
Not even what you wish for, just whatever you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and that falls in line with, if I'm worried about getting pulled over, I'm probably going to end up getting pulled over. Mm-hmm. But this really falls in line with it. There's this book by Rhonda Brines, and it's called The Secret. And it is essentially based on this law. And I remember whenever I was reading it, talking about like a dude that put like $100 bill on his ceiling, and then like he had $100,000 by the end of the year. And it's just that, right? He's going to see something and put it into his life enough to where he's now attracting it into his life. And you could do that with clients all the time, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to get 5 clients this week. And you just keep thinking that you're going to put yourself in those situations. And the big thing here is you're going to put yourself in the situation. So often, if you don't live life with intention, you're going to say no to opportunities. Something as simple as, hey, JJ's in town. Let's go out and have a drink. Well, JJ might also know the president of Sony, and he's in town with him. And because you said no, that a whole opportunity just went, right? But it's not a selfish thing. I'm not going to meet somebody. I'm going because I love the relationship that I have with my friends. And now I have an opportunity to meet one of his friends, and then that can then further business, right? So it's just that little bit of thing, just get out, do.
Yeah, try not to say no to anything.
I love the movie Yes Man, right?
That's
Yes Man.
Totally my motto.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I'll tell you, say yes more, and you'll be so surprised at what comes into your life.
Mm-hmm. Lots of opportunities.
The last thing, and quite frankly, this was the first actual thing that I learned, but I kept this as the last of the list because I think it's so important, is the Clueless Know Nothing. Have you ever heard of this phrase?
No.
So Clueless Know Nothing is essentially a person that knows so much. I'm putting my quotation fingers up right now. That knows so much that they truly don't know anything. And they know so much, meaning they are a Google professor.
Every
right?
lawyer that I've ever talked to.
But they come from this. Well, I already know that, so you don't have to teach me that, right? Or I don't have to learn that because I already know it. And I see this all the time in real estate, especially with like investors and stuff, right? Because if you ask an investor, like, "Oh, what type of return are you looking for?" A good one. And it's like, okay, well,
what does that look like?
What does that look like to you, right? And then they don't fully know the answers, right? And so I see that, and I see it way more in commercial real estate, to be honest with you.
God, yeah.
But yeah, we do still see it a lot. But within that, there's phases of learning. So there's 5 stages of learning. So first is the unconscious incompetence. This is I have no idea what you just said. Was that even English, right? So this is like with somebody talking to me about string theory. I have no idea was that a sentence, right? That's that. Second is the conscious incompetence. Being like, you know what? You're talking about string theory. I have no idea what any of that actually means. The third stage would be conscious competence, right? And that's going to be like, hey, I was reading on that. That's interesting that you're talking about that. I can kind of hang on. Fourth stage is the unconscious competence, which is that you were thinking about that, right? I'm thinking about string theory. I'm not reading about it. I'm just thinking about it. And then the fifth stage is the reflective ability over all the stages. So being able to
reflect on the concepts.
Yeah. Reflect on all of it and understand that, that was a concept you didn't know. You learned it, you got more familiar, and it kind of grew on.
And then you can fit it to other things too.
Exactly. And so that whole little bit, the Clueless Know Nothing, was actually leading me to Shoshin.
Oh.
Which is the beginner's mindset. Is that a Buddhist thing?
Yes.
It is a Buddhist thing. So explain the Buddhist mindset.
It's Shoshin. It just means beginner's mindset. Did we not talk about on this one?
Well, you touched on it.
Yeah. Like I said, it's just basically not feeling like you know everything always, because there is always going to be somebody who knows a little bit more than you or more information you can learn on the topic. You're never going to know every single little detail of something that you're doing.
Exactly.
There's just no way.
Anything that we set out to learn is worth mastering.
Right.
So in order to master anything, you have to learn everything about it. And guess what? We learn things about everything every single day. So you're never going to fully know, but it has to have that crave for the knowledge.
Yeah, right? just because you're a marine biologist doesn't mean you can perform a surgery on a whale. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. I don't really know who does perform surgery on whales. Is it still a vet?
Yeah.
Like a large animal vet? A marine vet? This is stupid. Well, but that goes back, like, we don't know those things, right? There's 4 steps to learning something. There's the factual knowledge, which whenever you guys are in real estate school, that's the nuts and bolts of real estate. What are the definitions? Those types of things. Conceptual knowledge is the next step to that, and that's how that works in certain situations. Procedural knowledge comes third, and that's how to use it in certain situations. And then the third, which nobody I feel like cares about learning anymore, is why it works. Engineers, that's why I love dealing with engineers, is because they care about why. And whenever I'm giving a presentation to an engineer, I can go into like, well, I'm looking at this number from this and, by this calculation, right? And I can really get into like why it matters. So those were 6 lessons I've learned in 6 years in real estate.
Do you see them all tied together pretty often? Or which one do you think is the most important, if you could put a number on one?
The mindset.
Okay.
Mindset. Because I think that's one thing that you go and you deal with every single day. And that's actually going to lead us into the next episode, which is going to be the why. And I think the why is the biggest power for the mindset. It's basically your why is your generator for your why, or for your mindset. And your mindset is your vehicle that's driving you. And so if you don't have those 2 things kind of working together,
you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, or you're going to burn out very quickly. It's like putting water in your gas tank, right? And that's why we got to fill that why up. Like, we got to make it flammable. We got to make this sucker kerosene. Hot. I think kerosene's more flammable than gas. Again, one of those things I don't know anything about. Right? So, anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Again, decades into days is this whole concept here. So, thank you for tuning in. Tune in next time where we're going to talk a little bit more about the why, the juice, the meat, the bone behind this whole journey. Above all, I want you guys right now, put it in your mindset that you're going to fall in love with the journey.
It's about the journey.
Not the destination. It's about the journey. All right. So see you guys next time. Make sure you tune in to Rob. Drop it.
Make sure to follow us on YouTube at Simply Real Estate NM. Follow us here at the Real Estate Training Podcast. Yes, we're rebranding, so it's going to take a second to get that right. And then also make sure to follow us on Instagram, K2 Simply Real Estate, Facebook, K2 Simply Real Estate, K2 Simply Commercial. It'll all be linked in the description. I'm sure our editor, Estevan, best guy out there. So make sure to stay tuned, follow us, stay up to date with what we're teaching, because I promise you we're going to be dropping some great golden nugs here.
Also, if anybody's interested, they know anybody looking for a producer, looking for that added edge in their business, you got to hit up my boy, Estevan. EC Productions, the dude's a maniac.
His email will also be in the description box. So make sure to, if you're looking to expand your business, hit him up.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Have a good one.
The Real Estate Training Podcast with Kiki Salcido, turning decades into days.